Good morning and welcome to D.I.V.E, Diversity, Including Various Ethnicities. I am Iris Owens, your host, and on the line with me are my two co-hosts and then our great, amazing new home buyers that are going to join us today and share their experiences of purchasing a new home. So today, and as we had mentioned before, let me go back a little bit, June is Financial Literacy Month. And so we want to share information on how and the process for buying a home and the things that you need to do to be prepared to purchase a home. So as I stated, our two guests on the line will introduce themselves and then share their experiences. But I also want to first introduce my co-host. So good morning, Jessica, and good morning, Stephanie. Please take
Good morning.
introduce yourselves.
Good morning. I am Jessica Harrison out of the Cascade office with Berkshire Hathaway. I am happy to be here with you ladies today.
Awesome. And gentlemen.
Yes. Gentlemen. Sorry, Anderson.
It's a lovely day. This is Stephanie Henry out of the Swanee office. Kind of excited to hear from you, Anderson and Sonia today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to jump in. And as we mentioned, guys, we have some questions for you. And if there is anything that you want to share, feel free, because again, this is for information purposes and we want to be able to help others who are on this journey to know what they need to prepare themselves to do when doing so. So I'm going to shoot off this first question. And so my question to you is, what was your experience working with a realtor purchasing your first home?
So I guess I'll go first. I would say working with a realtor was definitely a very easy, smooth process for me. And I would say getting to know your realtor getting to know you, knowing exactly what you want, what you like, what area you want to be in. That's very, very, very important, because purchasing a home is definitely not the easiest process, but it's definitely walking through it and that realtor giving you all the ins and outs and the knowledge that you need. Yeah, that's very, very, very important.
Awesome. Awesome. So Sonia, had you worked with a realtor before, or was this your first time working with a realtor, or the first realtor you met was the realtor for you?
No, this was actually my first time working with the realtor, and like it was very smooth, and maybe because she knew me, and that may be what it was, or I knew her,
Yes.
So
okay.
It was actually the first time.
Okay, awesome. Anderson, what was your experience like working with the realtor?
So my experience was extremely easy. Jessica was not the first realtor that we had talked to. We had previously talked to another realtor, because I'm personally a person that likes to plan, want to know what I'm doing, what direction I need to be headed in. And so we spoke to someone and we didn't click.
Mm-hmm.
It was no follow-up, it was no follow-through. It was like, look, hey, are you ready? One thing I can say about Jessica, she was very consistent. She's consistent. It was almost like, I'm gonna be your realtor and I'm gonna find your house. And which I really appreciated, because it made me feel comfortable telling her what our needs, what our wants were.
Mm-hmm.
And we told her what our needs, what our wants were, what we're looking for. And having her to find exactly what we wanted was a plus. So I'm going to say it was extremely easy. And I have thoroughly enjoyed the process of working with the realtor.
Awesome. Awesome. What I love really is hearing, I'm sorry?
I said, I want to piggyback on that.
Oh, go ahead. Jump in. I was going to say something.
With both of them. I mean, they both were easy clients to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes our job easier.
Absolutely.
As you ladies know, when working with clients, we're dealing with different personalities, different expectations, sometimes unrealistic expectations. So therefore, working with these two clients in particular was easy for me as a realtor. So I'm glad to hear that I made their process as smooth as possible as well. Mm-hmm. One thing Anderson failed to mention, Anderson chose his property based off of my recommendation, sight unseen.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I got that. Yep.
So you
Yes,
trusted her that much.
yes.
Never have seen
And I
it.
don't take that for granted because
Oh, absolutely
that's
not.
a lot, you know, to put in
Absolutely
the hands
not.
of someone. But it was one of those things we had to jump, and he trusted me enough to take the leap. So, and here we are.
Absolutely.
And
That
and
says
so
a
and I
lot.
was going to say what I love about what both of you said is something that a lot of times sometimes people do not do in a service situation, right? That we come along with, the realtor comes with their idea of what they think you want, right?
Mhm.
Or what they're going to offer you that seems more obtainable, if that makes sense. And
Mhm.
so you both said that your realtor listened to you, like you shared, she asked what you wanted, what you were looking for, and then she delivered on that. And I think that makes the experience even all the more better. And the mere fact that you bought your home Anderson sight unseen, obviously she really did listen. And she paid very close attention to details and to your needs. And
Yeah.
so I love that story. I love that. That's great. Stephanie, you have a question?
I do. And I'm going to ask this of Anderson first, please. What was your expectations? Was there anything that you thought you knew that you didn't know?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Expectations, I was kind of more of a blank canvas. I know there were particulars that I personally had that first I wanted to build a relationship with number one, our realtor, because for this being my first time purchasing a home, it was like, okay, I don't know what it is I'm looking for. I know the things that I want. I had some unrealistic things that I was like, okay, now you need to compromise. And so yeah, I think I answered the question.
Okay. I
So
think you did.
so you had expectations, but you and Jessica worked together to normalize those?
Yeah, yes. So we did. So I had expectations. My biggest thing was I wanted to have a relationship because I didn't know, like when looking for a home, there's different type of things that you can be going for, whether it's new, whether it's somebody else's home, if you're buying a floor clothes or stuff like that. So my expectation was always like, I just need honesty, openness, and just let me know what it is up front. Don't sugarcoat it for me.
Right.
That was my biggest expectation. And she super exceeded that.
Mhm.
Good. And how about you, Sonia?
I gotta piggyback off of what Anderson just said. Like, I mean, I didn't have to build that relationship with Jessica because I knew her.
Mhm.
I knew that she knew exactly what my family wanted and what we needed. And it exceeded our expectations because we were looking for a 3-bedroom, something just comfortable for us, and we ended up with a 5, 3.5.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
and that, I'm sorry, y'all, I was getting a phone call. So that basically was like, it was just, she went far beyond of what we could even imagine for our very first traditional home. And it was amazing.
And so did you both start out, I understand you both purchased new construction, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you both start out with new construction as your goal, or that was where Jessica kind of led you in a direction, or gave you options where you were able to do that?
For us, it was, we definitely wanted new construction. We had this philosophy. We want some carpet nobody had walked on.
Understood.
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 It was very much, we knew we wanted a new construction.
Right.
Okay, awesome.
We started off looking at
Resale. Mm-hmm.
and then we actually went under contract. We went actually not under contract. We waited on a different community for months and months and months and months. It was like at a standstill. So when the salesperson in the community where I am now contacted Jessica, like it happened in one day.
Awesome.
It happened in like seriously in what it was like 3 hours max.
Yeah. Really, that is a testament to relationships.
Yes.
Iris and Stephanie, you all know relationships are a very important part of our job.
Absolutely.
And I've networked and have, awesome relationships with a lot of sales agents, to where if something, they know I'm looking, they know I have clients in the area, what they do is they'll give me a call or send me a text or send me an email. This particular day, I had just spoken with Sonia. And then the sales agent called me, was like, hey, you got someone looking? I have a lot available. I called Sonia back. Even though Sonia works from home, Sonia picked up her baby, her laptop, and came on down and met me. And the rest is history. But it's
Love it.
the way the market is set up right now, relationships, along with being ready at all
Yes.
times, because you just never know what may fall in your lap. And that's just how it went. Like Sonia said, her family was on a waiting list for a totally different community for months and months and months. So when this opportunity, presented itself, I was like, hey, what you want to do? And again, the rest is history. And they are brand new homeowners. But I'm just grateful. Y'all really had me over here blushing. So grateful. I'm grateful.
And you're right. Real estate is relational. Life
Right.
is relational. And so when you are dealing with a client, and I don't like to say clients, but yes, you're our clients, but you're a human being, you're a family, you are people looking to make a major investment. Like this is probably the biggest thing you're gonna ever spend. Well, no, I'm take that back, because if you send kids to college, you may spend more.
Right.
But you want to house them first and then send them off to find their own homes, right? So, but it's a major investment. In all seriousness, it's a major investment. And I always say when someone walks into a home, the home should invite you in.
Right.
Because a lot of times people will go to a home, like you'll pick it out. You've looked at the pictures online or you've seen the sketchings of it. And then as soon as you drive up to it, you go, oh, absolutely not.
It's not for me.
It's not for me. And then sometimes there are the people who will say, well, I still want to go in anyway. You already know it didn't speak to you. Don't
even waste your time.
Right. So it's important that when we're looking for a home for you, that we know those must-haves, but we really know that thing and it's not the wow factor. It's the thing that's going to make it home for you. And that's really important, that when we're showing you a home, we're showing you the home with the thing that is, this is where I can see myself living, right? Because a lot of times we always think, I want the pool, I want a great big yard, I wanted this, I wanted that. And then you go, no, that's not really what I want. That room where we can all sit together at that table and have dinner and have conversations and make memories. That's what's important. So I love that you all had great relationship. It was not just a transaction. And that's really important.
And it really started in the buyer's consultation.
Good.
It really starts in the buyer's consultation, where I ask those questions. What are the must-haves for your property? Where do you want to be? But what are those boxes that I have to check? So therefore, we're all on one page.
Yes.
We already know. There's no need for me to show you a house with a 1-car garage if you told me it's a must that you have a 2-car garage. It eliminates a lot of wasted time for both parties.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jessica, you got a question?
Well, my question for both of you, I'm gonna start with Sonia. Sonia, were there any unexpected costs associated with purchasing your home that you weren't prepared for?
No. It wasn't. It was like, when I say my process was so easy, it was so easy. Even the fact of changing mortgage lenders in between the process. After working with one mortgage lender from July to January and having to say, okay, well, I'm gonna be missing out on a lot. It's like Jessica, my realtor, basically broke down everything. Listen, this is your option, but I can't make that decision for you. You definitely got to make that decision for yourself. And although I had built that relationship with that particular lender, it was like, okay, it was some things that she just wasn't able to do for me. And exceeding, like when I started working with DHI, I was just like, it was overwhelming, but yet and still, and I promise you, Jessica can tell you there was times that I was just like, listen, I'm done with this. I'm not doing it. I don't want it. I'm done. And like, he was just call me and just encourage me. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get back to it. I'm okay. I'm better. I'm driven. Okay. I put my gear back in drive and say, okay, I'm gonna drive this all the way. But there was nothing, no, like everything from the amount of this is what you're gonna need for closing. Like for real, it was basically set in stone. She told me everything from A to Z.
How about you, Anderson? How you feel?
So for me, I'm gonna say, as being a first-time home buyer, in my mind, when we started the process, I was like, okay, this is how much this house is gonna cost. This is how much we're approved for. I don't got nothing else to worry about.
Right.
But it was, and I'm sure now that I've been through the process, I won't be as surprised as I was this time. So as for unexpected, there were several things that were on my end unexpected, as far as the inspections and as far as locking a rate in, because the market is, we don't know where it is. However, I'm not going to say we were not prepared, because when we went under contract in December, we started saying, hey, let's start setting money up because we don't know what's coming up. What I can say is that they told us we were going to need one particular amount when it came to closing, which was a big number. And I was just like, I don't know how, I don't know where this money is going to come from for this, but we're going to do it. I believe my partner and I, we set a goal and we met it. And it seems like as we've gotten closer with as many delays as we have experienced, that number has come down. We've been able to just pull money from here, and still have what we need and still be able to live. The one unexpected thing I could say with going with this new construction is there at the beginning, there's no set deadline. So you don't know, as they can say, oh, we'll be done with the house in the early spring. But depending on the way the economy is, where the market is, where supplies are going. So in our minds, we prepared and we left our apartment in the beginning of April with, hey, an expectation, next 30 days we'll be fine. That was the one unexpected thing we did have. Transitional housing was our one unexpected thing that we were not prepared for. But we made it.
Awesome.
I love that transparency.
Yes.
Because I believe a lot of buyers do not think about that.
Not at all.
Especially in this market with the interest rates fluctuating the way they are. And then of course, with materials being on back order, therefore causing delays in closing. Like you said, you had to find transitional housing, while waiting on your home to be, completed. So that is a big unexpected bill, that people may not take into consideration.
Yes.
On top of that, I know Sonia, you had to think about storage. Storage fees, because now you're transitioning, and while waiting, you can't wait, or you don't have the space to house all of your furniture and things of that nature. So now we have a storage facility that we are having to pay while we're waiting for our home to be completed. So all of these different unexpected expenses kind of pop up, and those are things that even us as a realtor, we can't even, we can't control.
Right.
I really can't even warn you about, because some of those things we weren't even expecting to kind of happen the way that it's been happening over the past year or two. So I'm grateful for y'all for this transparency, because it's going to help a lot of people.
Can I add something to that as well? Sure. Even the storage, and like Anderson was saying, the rates fluctuating. Like my rate was one We were saying, okay, this is where we started out. We needed to bring this a certain amount to the table. And at the end of the day, we left with a check in our hand.
Come
Because
on.
Walked away with
It's-
money. I
we
love
walked
it.
walking
I
away
love
with-
it.
That's always
it.
a good thing when you can walk away
Right.
with some
And
money.
when,
Yeah.
like, we locked in a rate I thought the rate was going to be a certain amount, and that rate went up, it went down, it went up and went down. And by the time we ended up locking in that final rate, it was amazing. I like, even with the storage, even though the storage bill was just it was a little bit exceeding our expectations, but it wasn't much.
Mhm.
It was even the transitional staying in transitional housing expense that we had to come out of pocket with. It was, I just say at the end of the day, it was so worth it.
It's worth it.
So
It's
Yeah.
worth it.
That's all
Now,
that
see,
matters.
that's it. Now, listen,
That's what matters. to us.
that's what matters, that it was worth it.
Right.
Because,
Would
it's
you
like,
do it
it's like
again?
nothing worth having, what they say, nothing worth having, comes easy. You got to work for it. So, I'm really, so what, like Jessica's saying, I love your transparency, but I love the fact that you guys hung in there despite because there were people who were ready to quit. They were really like, I'm done with this.
We all can tell stories of clients that did quit in the
And just-
midnight hour, quit.
And real transparency, there were times that we wanted to quit.
Let the truth be told.
Listen, I just literally had an experience last week. I had 2 closings
Mhm.
that was, when I said there were so many tears, because we had one couple that was the couple that was buying had a 2-month-old baby.
Oh.
We couldn't close. The closing was delayed for 2 days. And so now the last day that we were trying to get it closed, they were in the moving truck with their 2-month-old baby.
See?
And the attorney is saying, we can't close today. And not of any fault of ours or the
Right.
buyers, but it was their finance, there was the lender. So I'm gonna tell y'all, when I say we begged, borrowed, cried, teared, Viola Davis, it's like, we got to get this done. We got to get it done, because we were going to have a family who was literally homeless. They had moved out of their apartment and they didn't have a place to go. And then the seller, they too had moved out of their home that they were selling to the buyers.
Right.
And they had 3 moving trucks in a driveway waiting for access to their new home. So
Wow.
it took, I think this whole market takes resiliency on all parties, right? And really trust in one another that we're going to work through it and we're going to get through it, and being very honest and, as vulnerable as possible, knowing that anything that we could do, we're going to catch you.
Right.
We're going to catch you. We're going to catch you, and we're going to catch it, so that it does not derail your whole process.
And you were able to get that closing completed, correct?
We closed both.
See?
We closed both. Yes.
One thing I can say this process has really taught me, nonetheless, was patience. Coming into 2021 was a rough year for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Transition, lost my mom and something like that, all in the midst of trying to say, hey, we're gonna buy this house. So at the end of the year, I prayed, and I was like, God, if nothing else this year, teach me patience. The old saying is, be careful what
you ask.
Yes.
Be
Especially
careful.
for patience.
Because this home buying process is, if nothing else, if one thing I know I can walk away with saying is that it has taught me how to be patient, how to be patient, remain faithful, and do not give up.
Amen.
That's it.
Amen.
Joy come in the morning.
What? Yes, I love
Or the
it.
afternoon if we get them keys.
Let's-
Right.
So Anderson, you started, because my question was going to be, name 3 things that you learned during your home buying process, your home buying experience. And you said patience.
Patience was number 1.
Uh-huh.
It taught me discipline, number 2,
Yes.
because like I said, there was an amount that they asked for at the beginning, like, hey, this is what we're going to expect when we get to that table. So I had to learn how to break old habits. Like I could wake up in the morning, in the middle of the night, and I can't sleep. Just go online and go shopping. There's a certain amount of money you have to have. So you have to work towards it, and you have to save. So patience. I said patience, discipline, and what can I say? My third one was
Not spending your money.
Budget.
Budget. There we go. Budget. Budget.
Yes. Yes.
Because it means unexpected fees are gonna come up.
Right.
That's
Right.
That's
Budget.
true.
So those were my three.
Sonia, what about you? What three things did you learn?
I would have to, my patience is definitely number one for me. Well, the budgeting part, I was already, knew how to budget, but I knew how to budget, but when your husband don't really know how to budget, so you put it together and you're like, okay, so listen, this is what's gonna have to happen. So that came along with that patient piece as well with dealing with him too.
Yes.
I'm like, listen, and that faith driven, listen, my faith kicked into overdrive. And I said, Lord Jesus, listen, this faith that I have, you definitely, it kicked in. When they say the faith the size of a mustard seed.
Y'all better preach on here this morning.
Listen, it kicked
I
in.
love that.
And I'm just like, okay, it's going to happen. And that's all I kept speaking. It's going to happen because God, you already said it. You already ordained it. It was already spoken over our life that it was going to happen. So it got to manifest. Yes. So that's, I was just like, okay, I'm good. So after that patience, that faith kicking in, and then a little bit more of the patience with my husband.
That's awesome.
Because he didn't understand. I was dealing with everything, so he really didn't understand.
He didn't see the big picture. He didn't see the big picture. But I bet you he's excited now.
Oh yeah. Now this is another story. He was able to spend his first weekend. He spent his first weekend home this past weekend since we moved in. He was here the day we closed. He'd been on the road every weekend since then. He may come home week, but this past weekend was the first day that he actually had an opportunity to spend time at home over the week on the weekend. Like that.
Lovely.
That was amazing. So we got a chance to do a whole lot.
That's good. That's good.
That's awesome. You guys have been amazing today. And something I want to chime in on is, how they will, as realtors, we will tell our clients once they go into contract, don't buy nothing. I don't care if rooms to go on a 95% off. Buy nothing.
Anderson, I see that face.
Anderson is like, Anderson, if you are buying, put it back. Take it back. Take it back. Don't buy furniture. Don't charge nothing other than your daily, your regular living expenses. Because Anderson, here's the thing. And for all of you who are tuning in, the day before, 2 days before your closing happens, they run your credit.
One more time.
And your credit has to be the same or better than it was when you started this process. And that is something that people don't think about. It is the worst thing to be at that closing table waiting for your client and they pull up in a new car. You're like, oh God, it's over.
Please tell me it's a rental. Please tell me it's a rental.
Tell me it's a rental. Tell me somebody picked you up and brought you here today. Tell me that's not your car.
Lord.
My situation was a little different though, because like I said, I lost my mom right at the beginning of this process.
Right. Yes.
And so I had extra money come out of nowhere. So my process was different, a little different.
Okay.
But yes, if you are going through this process, don't touch nothing.
No.
Right.
Don't loan money to anybody.
Yeah.
Don't loan money. Don't take that 100,000 you had in the CD and move it over. Don't do it.
Touch nothing.
Don't do it. Right.
Do it. Like
don't do it. because you will be the
You never know.
smallest. And here's the other thing people miss: don't overdraw your checking account.
Please don't.
That's an automatic no.
Mhm.
Because what the lender says, if you can't manage your own money, you can't manage our money.
And when
That's
I tell
exactly
you,
how they look at it.
Then that's how they look at it.
They want to know every penny you spend.
Every.
They want bank statements from months, and they want to know, and they go line by line.
Yes,
And
they
if
do.
your Uncle Tom sends you $300, they want to know why, and we need an explanation of why he just sent you $300.
Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely. And and that's real talk, because this is coming from people who just purchased homes or on their way to purchasing a home, right?
Mhm.
See, when we say that as a realtor, sometimes buyers think that we're just being facetious, that we're just being really crazy. We're not. A lender takes, and here's the thing, you know what? It's really just the 2 months of your life before you buy this home.
Really.
It's 2 months. It's the 2 months. They're looking at your spending habits for the 2 to 3 months before you actually purchase this home. So that's basically from the moment 2 months before you get ready to go under contract. And then after that, they don't care. And I always tell people, you buy a car, you cannot get a home. You buy a home, you could get a car.
You can always get a car.
And you could go get the car the same day, because guess what? Your credit is impeccable.
Well, Sonia can attest to that, ma'am. It closed on Thursday. Somebody had a new car by Saturday.
I did. I went, and
But
although
I told her wait. I said, just wait for me, please.
Yeah, wait till the funds clear. Wait till the funds clear and the loan is funded, because that's another thing.
Right. I wasn't going to do anything until I had those keys in my hand.
Absolutely.
But once I had them keys in my hand, it was a go for me. Because listen, I felt that my life had been put on hold.
It does.
It was.
For a long time.
You were in lockdown for that time.
I told, listen, the people was like, I said, Ned, let me tell you something. Because even going transition housing, and you like, okay, well, you gotta have to hold it on this credit card, but don't run that credit card now. I'm gonna pay you out with a different card. I'm gonna pay you out with a different card.
She's right.
I'm gonna
She's right.
Like, don't put nothing on that credit card, because that credit card have to stay at a zero balance.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm just so happy that you took the advice that was given.
Right.
And you listened.
Right.
I had another client the same way. She didn't have a car. And so I would pick her up. We would go look at properties and things of that nature, because she listened to me literally. She was like, I will not purchase a car as bad as I need one. I will not purchase a car until we find a house.
Right.
So now she is now a homeowner and has a brand new car. She listened, because people really don't understand when the lenders are looking at that debt to income ratio.
Absolutely.
It
and
matters.
you go and purchase a new car before we get this house, your debt to income ratio just went through the roof.
Absolutely.
It just went through the roof, and it could potentially cause you not to be able to afford a house altogether.
Yes.
Or it may drastically decrease the amount that you would have been pre-approved for.
Exactly.
So, it's important. We're not beating that over the head, just
yes, we are
beating it over the head. It's really important. Like, it really is important. It really is important. Trust me. The keys to that house, I think you want more so than the keys to that car.
Absolutely. So Anderson and Sonia, what would be your final words or of advice to anyone who's about to enter? Oh, I'm sorry, Stephanie, you have a question?
Yeah, and it was of Sonia. You spoke on how you switched lenders. I'm assuming you had a lender and you switched to the preferred lender.
Yes.
Was there a reason? What was that reasoning?
It was because my lender stated to me that she would give me all of the incentives. She would match those incentives. And she wasn't being 100% honest.
Okay.
Even though she told me that she would match it, it was like, okay, when I asked her, I had to ask her like several times, like, let me know what you're giving me, because if you're not gonna, I'm gonna lose out and I'm end up spending more out of pocket versus me saving anything.
Right.
So I'm in the market of saving, not losing. So if the preferred lender is going to offer me this and you're not going to match that, I need to go with them.
Exactly.
Although we have been to build that relationship and you said that you would do this, but yet and still you fell through. And it was like the communication piece was not there. And once you lose that connect with me, it's over.
Mhm.
That means that I can't trust you. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done with it.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Got it.
And Anderson, you used the preferred lender as well?
Yeah, we went with the preferred lender, and so far so good.
What was
And the
your
main
reasoning,
reason,
Anderson, for using the
because of the incentives with going with their preferred lender at the community we got, it came with all the upgrades, which was stuff we would have picked anyway, so it kind of saved us money there. And then the amount of money they offered us towards our closing, it's like, okay, yeah, we'll stick with you all.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
so we've only been with that one.
Awesome.
That's right. Mhm.
Awesome.
That's an excellent question, Stephanie, because
Yeah, thank
a
you,
lot of
Stephanie.
people don't think about they don't think about really looking at different lenders and shopping around and seeing who can get them the best interest rate or the best incentives. You know, we sometimes, especially in new construction community, we automatically go for the preferred lender because of what they're offering.
Right, they're offering, absolutely.
Not saying that that's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying sometimes you can just do a comparison, you know, compare with other lenders and kind of shop around the best rate and see, is the amount of money that the builder is giving you toward closing worth having a higher interest rate versus another lender, you know. So all of that stuff is stuff that you know, you should have a conversation with your agent, so that your agent will be able to best guide you in that decision-making process. But excellent question, Steph. Excellent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. So now, Sonia Anderson, what would be your final words of advice to someone who's just getting ready or considering starting the process of purchasing a new home?
I would say know exactly what you want. Know exactly, look at every aspect of life, period. Because buying a new home, there's a lot, even being a homeowner, period, there's a lot that comes into play. It's more than just living in an apartment where, you know, like there's a lot more to it. And you like, it's the upkeeping of the home, the upkeeping of the lawn, the upkeeping of like everything, every little piece. And I would say make sure that you're able to handle it. Make sure you're able to handle it, because a lot of us say, okay, this is what I want, but yet and still we go out and we purchase this big old extravagant home, and yet and still down the line, once you get in it, you can't, you like, okay, I can't even maintain it.
Right.
So you got to make sure that like every aspect of life is there and you're able to handle all of it. And is it worth it? Yes, it is. It's going to change your whole entire life of living, your whole life, everything. I would actually say everything about me has my mind is blown of just, you know, just to see the manifestation of what God has formed, and he's, you know, stabilizing me. And it's like, okay, well, Sonia, this is what you want to do, but can you do it? Can you do it? Sometimes, you know, when I want to do something, I have to sit back and say, no, this come first. And I got to make sure I take care of this first versus, okay, I'm good on that. So, you know, making sure that you maintain all of that is, yeah, very important. Very important.
Thank you. Anderson?
So she said a lot of what I said. I was sitting here jotting down things so I know where I'm going. Got some bullet points. First, I'm going to say, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. Let's be honest about what it is that we want. Don't go and say, I want a mansion with a pool and angels hanging from the chandelier. Let's be realistic. Can you afford this? Even though they may say you can afford it right now, can you maintain it? So be prepared to be real and be able to handle what comes your way with when it's all said and done. I also jotted down, change your mindset. It's very important that you have to get rid of bad or old habits, because it's going to get real. And then I'm prepared, and be prepared to know that, hey, this is mine. And at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, can I afford to fix it? Because there's no more, can I call the office and my toilet is stopped up, can y'all come fix this? No, this is real. Now you got to call or find a plumber, and that's going to come out of your pocket.
Absolutely.
So let's also remember things like that. So, and the last thing I'm going to say is save, 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 save. You can never save, you can never not save enough.
Yes, understood.
No more midnight shopping.
No.
Yeah. Listen, you go to sleep at night, right?
I go to sleep at night, and I'm going to sleep comfortable and well and at peace.
Yes.
And
Amen.
that's important. That's important. We don't want to be what I call house poor.
House poor.
Yes, absolutely
House
not.
poor. We can afford the mortgage, but we can't afford to furnish it.
Right.
Like
We can
Or
afford
the
to
mortgage.
have a meal outside of the house.
Right. We can afford to, pay the mortgage, but now we can't afford to heat it or cool it. All of those different things, buyers have to take into consideration when purchasing a home. And Anderson, you hit a lot on the head. Sonia,
Yes.
I'm
Absolutely.
so grateful for both of you all. I am honored to have been your realtor, and I'm honored to have been able to hold your hand through this process.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful. Y'all have me over here blushing. Y'all see me blushing on camera. I'm just so honored. And I mean, this is what we do it for.
You're amazing.
Yes.
This is what we do it for. Ultimately, when realtors walk away from the closing table,
Yes.
these are what we want all of our clients to feel. These are the emotions that we want them to feel. These are the things that we want them to take away. We did it. We laid it all out on the table for you to get what you want for your family. So
Yes.
home ownership is what we're in the business of.
Yes. It's the goal. It's the end goal.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
And just for those listening in the audience, Sonia closed a month ago, and Anderson will be closing in less than 2 weeks.
Yay.
10 days.
10 days. All right. Love it.
So the countdown is on.
Real.
So,
yes.
But we're done. We're at the finish line. We're at the finish line.
Well, we so do appreciate you both, Sonia and Anderson, for your honesty, for taking time out to come and share with us. This will mean the world to so many others who are on this journey and starting this path. It means the world to us that we have built relationship so that you're no longer clients. I'm sure with you guys and Jessica, you are now friends, your families. Jessica get invited to the barbecue.
Jessica better get invited.
So, but we really do appreciate, and we really hope that you garnered some really great information here. And so we just thank you all so much for tuning in today. Sonia, thank you so much. Anderson, thank you so much. And to my great co-host, thank you all so much. And everybody make it a great day. Have a good one.
See you all later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.